Yes. Welcome to Monday Mojo, and I was just looking through like my records. We've been doing these for at least 24 weeks that I actually have record of, and we've had a lot of different guest speakers, but we haven't really had this speaker really hosted a lot of calls, but he hasn't shared his story, and that's Michael. So he's kind of like the founder, the president, the CEO, the everything of Monday Mojo. That's kind of inspired each one of us. So it's time to hear from him and hear his story. So if you have questions, just type them in the chat, and then Michael can address those as he sees fit. But Michael, off to you, man.
Well, thank you, Peter. I am honored to be the speaker for tonight's Monday Mojo. It's really a different experience to be on this side, and I got to hand it to Pete because you were a guest before I was. It's interesting because as I was preparing for tonight, I've been watching all of the Monday Mojos and receiving so much inspiration from hearing other people tell their stories. And there has the whole time, there's just been this little voice inside my head that's been saying, can I do this? Am I going to say the right thing? Am I enough? Like, is this going to be good? Is this going to mean anything to anybody? And I want to kind of preface my story with that, because that's a very, very familiar voice that has been with me for a very long time. The voice of, am I enough? Is this good enough? Have I done enough? So I want to share a bit of my story with you, and at the end, I'm also going to be revealing a brand new project that is finally ready to be unveiled, which is our ramp guide, and I'll be showing you some snippets from that. And then for everybody who is not yet part of our group, if you're a visitor this evening, at the end of our Monday Mojo, I'll show you how you can receive your own ebook as well. So stay tuned till the end. I'm going to switch to a screen share and see if this will work. And now let's do this one. Okay. All right, how's that look? Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. This first slide is actually something that I'm going to talk about a little bit later when we get to the close portion of our call, but this is something that just came to me a couple days ago, actually, as I was journaling, just a way to kind of focus some thoughts. This acronym of GREAT. What are we grateful for? What are we relieved about? What are we excited about, attracted to, and totally loving? So I'm going to come back to that. But I want to show you, first of all, little Michael. Now, Vanessa, you grew up with me, and this is a little before.
That is awesome, man.
Wait, did you just write on that? That's so cute.
Yes, it is. It's like that Santa Claus was about to eat that head.
You are cute.
This is little Michael. I was about 10 years old, I think. This is like 1990. And this is in my grandmother's house. And as you can see, over to the right of my head, there is a light switch. Over, maybe a couple inches up. So one of the biggest struggles that I had growing up was I hated being what I thought was short. And I kept telling myself, there's this kind of, the thing that I would say is, even when I was in middle school, I was eye level with light switches. Like, I didn't really grow that much past when I was 10 years old. And now I'm 5'6", and all through my growing up years, I would, frankly, I'd just be like, I would stall. I was just so, I just felt like little, like I didn't make an impact. And I think like this is really where that voice of, am I enough? Did I do enough? That voice came into my head. And I remember specifically there was this one one evening when Chapelgate Youth Group, Vanessa, you would know about this. Of course, youth groups play like fun, silly games, and there was this one night that we were out on this field. And we were playing the game Capture the Flag, and everybody got picked for their teams, and I was picked kind of near the end. And I knew the rules of the game. I knew, like, if I got, if somebody crept over to my side and if I held on to them, then I could take them back to the jail. And they would be kind of, put away in jail. And so my strategy was defense. I was kind of like a loner at that point. And so about an hour in, there was this guy who was maybe like 2 feet taller than I was, who was kind of like sneaking through the bushes, and I grabbed him. And I started yelling. I was like, "Hey, let's go back to jail. Let's go. I'm going to take you back to jail." And he ripped his hand out of my arm, and he ran back to his other side. And he pushed me down, and I was just like left there all alone. And I just remember feeling like, I didn't know the rules. I did everything that I knew to do was right, and we didn't follow the rules. And I felt very weak. I felt very small. And I remember going to the bus as we were leaving, and I was just crying. I was hiding my face, looking out the window, because I didn't want the other 12 and 13-year-olds to see me crying. And I remember making a pact to myself that night that I would do whatever I could to be the very best, strongest person that I could be. And I knew that I wasn't going to be growing that much, so basketball was not in my future. And I liked music, I liked piano, I liked singing, and I was pretty smart, good at academics. So I decided to really focus on music and really do something that I knew that I could control. So I practiced a lot of piano, I competed a lot, and made music and theater my life. And ended up winning a lot of competitions, and then going into music professionally, majored in music, and I ended up going all the way. Got a doctorate in music composition from Northwestern University, and now I'm a professor of music, and I get to teach fantastic students voice, piano, songwriting, composition, and it's interesting to kind of look back and think, like, what would have been different if I don't know, you look back and you always think, like, coulda, shoulda, and what would have been different. So that's kind of how I ended up as a musician. And even though I really pushed myself to kind of be the best that I could be at music, I still felt deep down that I wanted to be proud of my body. I spent many, many years just being ashamed of it, frankly, not feeling like it was enough, not feeling like it was, attractive, like it was not the part about me that I put forward. And so, I went to gyms, I went to the school gyms, I would read the magazines, I would read websites, and try to figure it out. I would, follow the celebrities. I would basically look to see whatever Ryan Reynolds was doing. And if he looked as good as he did, then I wanted to do exactly what that was. And so, I would do that for a couple weeks. And 2 weeks later, I would look down at myself and I'd be like, well, I don't look like Ryan Reynolds. Like, what's going on here? And I just went through this roller coaster of going up and down and recommitting and quitting and falling off. And every time that I fell off, it was usually, I would tell myself that I was busy. There were other priorities. I had to kind of place my brain above my body. In fact, I've got another picture when I was in college with my friend Elizabeth. And it's funny, this picture actually just resurfaced the other day, and I'm looking to see, like, we're so young, we're babies there. But as far as my body, that was, it was kind of a skinny kid there. As you saw, all the music strewn about. So I never really found anything with fitness that I could really stick with. I had never been able to work out year round. It was just something that I basically said, you know what, maybe it's just not for me. So about 5 years ago, I was teaching, and a couple of my students were talking about their workouts, and they said that they had done P90X and that it actually worked. Like, one of them lost 30 pounds, another one was doing all these pull-ups, and I was like, yeah, right. I mean, that's just a gimmick. I've seen the commercials, I've seen the infomercials. I feel like we've all seen them because they're everywhere. But for some reason, I never really trusted it. I just kind of thought that all of those before and afters were probably doctored or models, or like, it just wasn't the real thing. But I figured, hey, maybe if somebody that I knew had actually done them and they worked for them, possibly I could give it a try. So one night, Rodrigo and I, my husband and I, who we were prepping for our wedding, we had kind of gotten in the pattern of eating a big pizza Friday night, watching TV, and we both fell asleep on the couch in a carb coma with the TV blaring. And the next morning, about 4 a.m., the TV was still on, and I woke up, and I thought I saw what else but the P90X infomercial, because that's the only thing on at that time. And for some reason, I decided to just watch it, just to kind of sit there and watch it. And I'm not normally the kind of person who buys things off of the TV. Like, I'm not an HSN shopper, although my husband Rodrigo totally is. If it's endorsed by Susan Lucci, he's buying it, which we did get the, the Malibu Pilates chair, which I assembled, and then we used it as a clothes hanger. I thought it was things like, the Gazelle or the ab roller, or just like crazy contraptions or gimmicks. But for some reason, I don't know, I got possessed and decided to buy it. So I picked up the phone and I bought P90X. There was a money back guarantee on it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it 100%. And then I'm going to prove that it doesn't work so I can get my money back. We were kind of strapped for cash as we were trying to pay for this wedding. So I bought it and figured out the nutrition plan, sat down with it. There were a few things in the nutrition plan that I didn't eat, like foods that I didn't eat. So I kind of figured out what I could eat, and I just got to work. And that first week was hell, absolute hell. I remember 3 days in, I was trying to go upstairs, and I was literally pulling myself on the hand railing of the stairs, trying to squat down in the toilet. Unreal, unbelievable, so much pain. I felt like I needed one of those handicap bars on the bathroom. But after about 10 days, about a week or 2 weeks, the main soreness had left, although the soreness kind of just rotated around my body the entire 3 months. But about 2 weeks, I started to see some results. And the second or third time that I would repeat a workout, I was able to do more push-ups. I started at doing 6 pull-ups, and I was dead for the day. And then the next week, I was able to do 7 pull-ups. And little by little, I actually started to feel better, started to feel more energetic. About a month in, other people were starting to notice that there was some sort of a change in my body. And I remember going to class. I was teaching an 8 a.m. class that semester. And I was like Tigger. I would bounce into the classroom because I had so much energy. I had done my workout before, and I was awake. My students were like, who are you? And what did you do with our teacher? So I kept it up, and in all honesty, this 90-day program I did in 100 days because I was not perfect, missed a couple days here and there, but I did the very best that I could. And let me show you my before and after pictures. So this is day 1 to day 90 of P90X. And for the very first time in my life, I found my abs. Like, that was the crowning achievement that I was working for so long. I was doing like crazy amounts of crunches and stuff before and could never get them. And in 3 months, I accomplished what I couldn't do in years. And I also wanted to show, this was before I knew about Shakeology, which is the superfood smoothie that I have for breakfast. I didn't know about it at this time, but I still got some pretty good results with it. But it was about this time that I found my coach, because I made a YouTube video of my transformation, and I did that because I didn't know anything about coaching. I didn't have a team. None of this stuff was around. But I used YouTube videos to motivate myself, and I would like search for them every single day, like P90X transformation, and I would just look at that and I would say, if they can do it, I can do it, and then I'd do my workout. And the times that I didn't want to do the workout, I just looked at another video. So I thought, well, that's what you do. Like, you just make a transformation video, and I put it on YouTube. And this guy contacted me, and he said, "Hey, you got great results. Do you know about being a coach?" And I was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." So he explained it to me that, basically it's someone who loves Beachbody products and is helping other people to get results as well. And Beachbody will pay you for that. Basically, like, if you're going to be a billboard, you might as well get paid for it. And he also told me about Shakeology. About a month later, I decided to become a coach and got on Shakeology. And I actually want to show you a different set of before and after pictures. This is so the ones you're looking at right now are 90 days, and the next one is 120 days, so a month later. And those are the results that I was able to get with Shakeology added to it. I was doing the very same workouts, same intensity, same food plan, but I was able to just get absolutely shredded once I added Shakeology. So I was super thrilled about that, and then that kind of was the big spark. So since then, there have been some really cool opportunities that have come into my life, amazing people that I've met so far, and people who've kind of circled back into my life. One thing that I never thought I would get is messages from people who say that they were inspired by the work that I had done. And every single time that I see messages like that, I think back to that 12-year-old Michael on that Capture the Flag site, being pushed down, feeling weak, feeling like he doesn't make a difference, he doesn't make an impact, and seeing that just by committing to something and really finding a way to love myself in the process, that I was actually able to share that gift with others. So I'm extremely grateful for that, and I get very emotional with that as well. And in addition to that, as a performer, I've been able to just feel really comfortable and confident on stage. I'm going to show a couple pictures that I never thought I would have. Got to do some modeling. I was like, shoot, that's me? I don't believe it. Thought that was cool. I got to do Rocky Horror Picture Show and take all my clothes off except gold lame shorts. And that's like gold body glitter. I decided to grow a beard and have a photo shoot. Opportunities like this, I never would have expected. So I'm super grateful for that. And then just as far as the kind of wrapping it all up, I want to share a couple pictures of an outing that I got invited to with some other coaches. We got to go down to Florida and just hang out and talk about coach stuff, and met some amazing, amazing people. And we went roller skating one day. It's this beautiful house. And I was telling Matt something. Just amazing people. And for some reason, I was being very intense with this guy. So that's a little, oh, thank you. My hair is amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Vanessa. That's a little bit about my story. And what I'd like to do next, I guess if anybody has any comments or questions, feel free to take yourself off mute, and I'll go ahead and take it off of screen share. There we go. And if you guys have any other comments or questions, I'd be happy to field those. And then after that, I want to share with you the new ebook.
Michael, I have something to share. This might be a little unfair because I've known you for so long, but it's really inspiring for me to hear your story, because sort of growing up alongside you, you know, I never perceived you as someone who lacked confidence. And it's sort of, I don't know, it's just very touching to hear you talk about it, because all along I'm like, oh wow, I hope someday I can be just as good as him, you know, like I was like this little kid. I think I'm 2 years younger than you, so I was always, you know, looking to you for cues on how to have success. And to realize that all along, like, you also were dealing with, I don't know, being a human. and the fact that you've been able to do so much, it is very inspiring. And I guess I'm just so happy that I know you and that I've been able to watch this journey that you've been through, and that we're still connected.
A hug.
Oh, this is so weird. I'm hugging my monitor.
Thank you, Vanessa. I really appreciate that. And
Sure.
It's, you know, this is all about that human journey, and that whole thing that I said about preparing for tonight, feeling like, oh, I don't know if this is going to be good. Is this enough? You know, it's that same voice, and we all have those voices, you know, but we just say, thank you very much for the input. I'm going to do this. Anything else that you guys wanted to chime in about?
Yes. Down here where I'm from, we have workout centers, but we don't have, nobody's not into bodybuilding and working out and things like that. We have certain groups and stuff, but I'm the quiet, shy kind of person. I was the one who sat in the back seat of the class and never would raise a hand. Like Michael, I was the short one. Never liked my body. Because I always was bigger than everybody else. I just started doing this when I hit that 33 mark, because high blood pressure and diabetes run in my family, and of course heart attacks, mostly in my dad's side of the family. Heart attacks is among our number one killer on his side of the family, and getting with a group of people hearing some of the same stories as me, and I know I could probably sit here and yap and yap and yap and yap on, but sort of not trying to do that because we have more in the group. But it's going to be a challenging for me, because I don't think I know how to accept change. I always, my people around here and in my community, they don't like change at all. You get talked about, you get picked on, you get shunned away. of who you are and what you become. If you ain't a certain individual in a separate group of business wise, then you won't get talked about and stuff. And I just kept my way from distance from people here lately in the past couple months, because I'm trying to get my body right so I can be accepted. Because I don't think I'm accepted, because I'm not accepted in our community people around here. I'm accepted business wise. Talking about my bed and breakfast and different things I do doing business, they talk to me. But being a normal guy walking to the grocery store, people laugh and make fun and peek at my name and say things like that, and I sort of shunned away. So I'm trying to get myself back up there. I like going to gyms and I don't like going to gyms. I guess the only reason why I don't like going to gyms is because when I work out, I sweat too much. I don't know if it's a problem for anyone else, but it's a problem for me because I don't like to sweat like that around people, even if it's 60-some degrees outside. Just like right now, I'm standing outside. I sweat. I don't know if that's a problem, or even if I don't work out, I could just put on clothes and I sweat. So I don't know.
You
I'm
are in
just
North Carolina, so that might have something to do with it.
Pembroke. Come on now. But if I could, and if I had the funds, because when I opened my bed and breakfast in 2010, that's where my funding is. But if I had the funding, I would have definitely opened it somewhere else. Maybe in a bigger town and a bigger atmosphere and things like that. Because in my community, we probably have about 2,500 people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not that big. And I've known all these people all my life. Went to school with majority of them, got peeked on, got talked about, got cussed at, got fought, bullied, and I don't want to be about that life no more. I want to go all past that and get people to accept me for who I am and not for who I are.
Yeah.
Because our people don't accept change very often. They don't.
Yeah,
These Indian people down here is beautiful.
I see so many people nodding their heads in agreement and just really identifying with a lot of the things that you're saying. And I know it's not an accident that we've connected and that you're able to hear some of these stories. And as a community, I say let's work together to help you feel confident about yourself. Of course, it's we have to start accepting ourselves way before we can ask other people to accept us as well. But that's a journey that every single one of us is on. So I'm just so grateful that you were able to carve out some time to be here. So that's great.
Hey, Michael,
Yes.
Can I butt in for a sec?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to tell Jean, just talking about that is a huge step. And I just want to give you some encouragement tonight, because that's so huge. And one of the things that I found, I have 3 kids and I have been all my life up and down and up and down and up and down in my weight. It's been crazy. But I finally decided that for me, I needed to make a change. I actually, that cover that covers up the gas cap in your car?
Yes.
I actually knocked that off my car at one of my heaviest points. I turned around to put gas in the car and knocked that sucker right off, broke it off. In the last, I'm trying to think, 4 or 5 years that I've been doing this, one of the things that I've seen is when I give my self permission to change and do positive things for me, then my attitude changes and I make other choices that are different and better for myself, and people come to me or have positive responses to that. So I would really encourage you just to take a leap, do something for yourself. Let yourself make one change. And when you get strength from that one change, you're going to move on and make bigger and bigger and bigger decisions. I walked away from my job last year and I started my own business this year.
Congratulations.
I couldn't have done that though if I hadn't started this whole process. So I just wanted to just give you some encouragement and say, you know, do it for yourself, because big picture, it's a big cycle and you're going to get so much out of it.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
Can I chime in, Michael?
Sure, awesome.
Yeah.
For Jean, I haven't had a gym membership for a few years, and there were probably 2 years when I had a membership but didn't go, and I thought this is kind of ridiculous. And I've been doing workouts mostly consistently since last fall. I started with a program called PIO, which combines Pilates and yoga, and I didn't need any weights. I just needed a yoga mat and a place to pop in a DVD. And I followed the eating plan, and I noticed I did lose some weight. And then I also got another program called 21 Day Fix, and that just required a set of lighter weights and a set of heavier weights. And I found that if I ate well and did the program, then I was able to lose weight that I wanted to. So if you want to go to a gym, that's great, but no, you don't have to in order to see the changes that you want to.
Oh no, I'm not a gym person. Even though I would like to go, but I'm definitely not a gym person. I don't know right yet if I'm ready to open myself up, if I must say. I guess I've been shunned away from life so long that it's going to probably take me a minute to get back to where I want to be. It's hard. I just started working out like 2 months ago. I first stepped on the scales literally like 2 months ago, and it said 245, and I'm like, oh my God. I said, what can I do? What can I do? So when I got my Instagram face, I started following a lot of these One Nutrition and EHP labs and just most of these bodybuilders, and looking at what they eat and seeing some of the workout they do. So I incorporated it in my home in the carport, and food being one of my biggest problems. I saw them eating 5 and 6 times a day, and I was like, well, if they eat 5 and 6 times a day, I'll eat 5 and 6 times a day. So I would get up, work out, eat. Get up, work out, eat. And I don't know if I was doing it right or not, which I was. I'm down to 215 now. I was 211 about 2 weeks ago, and we got this cold snap that came through Pembroke, and it got down to 33 degrees last week, and I stopped. I don't know if the cold weather just put a lazy streak in me or something like that, but I just stopped, and I haven't worked out in like 2 weeks, and I could tell that I had started working out those 2 months. I dropped a couple pounds. I could finally see a little V line in my body, which I do have a lot of fat that I have to get rid of because I lost my weight sort of kind of quick. Now I just have to tone up, and that is the hardest thing to do, is to tone up. But acceptance is very hard for me because when I lost my father at a very young age, I turned 13 February the 8th, and he turned 43 February the 9th, and I lost him February the 12th of 95. So when that happened, it's like everything just went downhill, downhill, and I sort of got sidetracked because I got bullied in school, and I got peed on, I got faults. I mean, just you name it, it happened. Cutting my wrist and doing things that I shouldn't do, and because everybody wouldn't accept me for who I was. I mean, I would just walk in the classroom or just walk in the grocery
Things
store.
were bad. Things were bad, right?
Yeah, and it's very bad, and it still is on my back. If I could just release it, or just I don't know. I guess I sort of got that stuck in my head that well, you got talked about before, so you're gonna get talked about again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's a perfect segue actually into some things that I wanted to share, some fitness tips that I think is going to be really helpful regardless of if you're doing a Beachbody program or not. These are some things that you can take with you, and I want to kind of walk you through that. So Jean, if that's okay, I'm going to go ahead and share our screen and show some clips of the new fitness ebook. See if I can pull this up. Whoops, where are we? There we are. Okay. All right, is that coming through? Thumbs up. Awesome. Okay, so I wanted to share this just so everybody knows the group that we're in. If you're a visitor, it's called a ramp. It's a Facebook group message thread, kind of like a chat room where we check in after our workouts and we share tips and motivate each other. One of the things that I've noticed has been really important is that people find a good way to start, to actually prep so that they can have a really successful day one, and then that sets them on a really good track. And there are certain things that it's important to make sure that we have in place, like figuring out our food, figuring out our schedule, so that we can really make space in our lives for this. So I decided to actually create a document that put all of my best tips together for how to prepare to have a really successful day one, and then actually how to track our progress. So I want to share just a few excerpts of this. And like I said before, everybody who's already in the ramp, if you would like this whole document, I can send that to you. And for those who are not yet in the ramp, we can talk about if you would like to join us. So first of all, I have this snazzy cover photo. And then I actually tell my story, a lot of what we heard just today. And then this is really like the table of contents. These are some things that I think are really important. The first thing is how to manage communication within the group. Talking about Monday Mojo, how to track your results, how to make time and space for you, how to figure out your nutrition plan, and then how to fail. I think that's a really important thing, to figure out how do we fail, since we do that a lot more. I featured a few results. This is one of the men in our group, David, and he has just accomplished so much. Super proud of him and his results, and he's getting abs. So first of all, I want to share, this is the thing that every single one of us, we can do. And I got this idea actually from another Monday Mojo call a couple weeks ago, and that is to do a calendar. And I have a little sample of this calendar, and I'll show you. I've actually started my own I used a whiteboard that I just made a little calendar. You can do it on a piece of paper, whatever makes sense for you. But the idea is, of course, without consistency, we don't see results. And a lot of times we feel like we are consistent, but there are days that get past us, that we lose track. Life gets really busy. So I wanted to figure out, like, what is a really good way to make sure that we can kind of look back at our week and at our month and see what did we do. So the idea is you make a calendar. This says Sunday through Saturday. The one that I made for my whiteboard is Monday through Sunday. And every single time that you finish a workout, you write one letter in the phrase "beast up." You can pick a different phrase that has 7 letters if you like, but this is one that I'm using. And then in the lower right-hand corner, we have numbers from 1 to 10. And this is a way that you can actually take a look at your food, how you're following your food plan, and rate yourself. 1 is you completely fell off the wagon. 10 is you followed your perfect day of eating spot on. And you can rate yourself. So here's a sample. And if you add up all the numbers from the week, and if you are summing up at between 60 and 70, you're absolutely going to see results very, very, very quickly. And of course, the lower that number is, the longer it's going to take to see your results. So this is a system that I'd like to beta test with you all just to see how this is working, if this is resonating for you, if this is working for you. And I have a little bonus for those who are a go-getter. In addition to the workout and the nutrition number, to actually write something that you're grateful for in each square. Something you're excited about, something that's happening that you're really appreciative of. And it's just a great way to look back over the week and month and see what has happened. So that's the first thing that I want to share with you. How does that look? Feel free to take yourself off mute.
It looks good. I never thought about doing a calendar.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, definitely keep track, because I'm a person that, oh God, I will lose something or misplace it and don't write it down, but the calendar should help.
Awesome.
Yeah, Michael, I really like the numbers because that's something that I've talked with you about a little bit, is allowing some room for some treats, but not falling completely off the wagon. And that's a great way to keep yourself accountable, and I love it.
Truly that, because I'll probably fall off the wagon a couple times about eating. The holidays is coming up and we eat big, so I'm going to have to step down a little bit.
Yep, absolutely.
Maybe, Mike, you can put some of your before and after pictures on there so that kind of give us some motivation, like, okay, we stick to this calendar and we're going to look like that kind of thing.
Well, you can screenshot that from the document, and you can get your glue gun out and paste that.
Yeah, and some of us don't want to look like Michael in the end.
My boobs are a little small, right?
I know what happened.
Yeah, the boobs is sort of small. Ours is sort of. I got man boobs. That's something. I guess that's one of the reasons why too I don't go to the gym, because I think my man boobs is bigger than everybody else's. Because that is, if I could take a needle and suction some of that fat out of my man boobs, I sure would.
You can give it to me, Gene.
I know, right? It seems like when I was weighing 260, 270, I didn't have, they was like flat. All my weight was at my stomach and my hips and thighs. Now I'm lost weight, and I'm down to 215, and it's like, oh my God. I was like, everybody come up to me and they'll pinch my nipples, and it's like, you need a bra? And I'm like, oh my God. Why?
Just slap some people away. All right. So that's the calendar, and this is something that's just an idea that I want to share with you guys. So if this is something that you want to try and give a shot and see if this is working for you, then feel free to latch onto that. And when I send you the document, you can look at all the rest of the details about that. The next section is about time and space, and then this next page is all about figuring out the nutrition plan. And this whole document is really meant to accompany a Beachbody program, which already provides you with the workout training on DVD or streaming, and then it also provides a nutrition plan where you figure out what are the foods you need to eat, and how do you put all that together to match the goals that you have. Whether it's to lose weight or gain muscle or get faster and or have more endurance, there are food plans that are specifically tailored to those goals. And this is one of the part that was the most daunting for me in the beginning, and I think for a lot of people is very overwhelming. So I kept thinking, like, how do I break this down? How do we make this really manageable? Because if you don't get this part right, then you're kind of wasting your time. Like, you can't out-exercise a bad diet. So over the years, I've been doing this for 5 years. I kind of took together the ideas that have been working and figured out that, of course, to make something really simple, you have to understand it really, really, really well. It's some of the most complex things are because we don't understand what we're doing. So I narrowed it down to 3 steps. And it's basically this, and finding your calorie target, locating the food list in your guide and writing down all of the foods that you would like to sustainably consume, and then writing out one perfect day of eating. What would that be like? And at the end, I just gave a little sample of one perfect day that I figured out for myself when I was doing the 21-day fix, and my calorie target was 1,500 to 1,799. And this is exactly what I ate for most of the days. And then whenever I needed variety, I subbed out 1 or 2 foods. Because before that, I was tracking my food on apps. I was making it up literally every single day. Like, I was eating something and then logging it in, eating something and logging it in. And while that worked, it was just so overwhelming. So I figured out, let's just do one perfect day and then sub out 1 or 2 foods so that it's much more manageable. And then there's an awesome page about really understanding what Shakeology is all about. And it's not just protein, it's got a bunch of other stuff in it as well. And then I also recommend this amazing book by John Maxwell, Failing Forward. I think this is one of the most pivotal things that has happened for me to help keep me going. There's also a section in here about the coach upgrade, the coach account, and what that is. In fact, I want to kind of give a shout out to Vanessa, who this week became a coach. Ow, ow, ow! And Vanessa, we're going to have you on a Monday Mojo so you can tell your story as well, because it's awesome.
I'm actually already scheduled for, I think, the beginning of February. So.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Yeah, so this is information about the coach upgrade, and don't let the name scare you. It's not that you have to be some fitness guru. It's really just somebody who is committed to their own betterment, to improve their life and to share what you're doing and support others to do the same. So here are some of the details about how that works. And then finally, just kind of a summary of the whole document on a single page. So you take all that information and then you're like, okay, well, what do I do? And here are those 10 steps so that you can put that all together. And then talking about some more ramp of results of our friend Mary, who's just done so well. Very proud of her. So that is the ramp guide. And I'm so excited to reveal this to you. And I'm curious to know what you guys think.
I love it. Although I admit that I'm going through so many different resources with a lot of time management and other systems. So I'm like, not another system. So maybe in like a few months, I'll delve into it. But I thought I would share something a little bit exciting that I found today, another use for Shakeology, and that isn't just a shake, but there's a way of making protein bars using Shakeology, because I've been looking for more meals to do, and Autumn, I don't know her last name, who is in charge of 21 Day Fix, has all these great resources. So I'll see if I can find that link and post it, because I was just like, oh my goodness, this is really, really amazing.
So delicious.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to make them. So I probably won't buy Kind bars anymore because I'm trying to cut costs where I can. And that's one thing. And the calendar idea looks great, but again, another system I'll have to incorporate later. But something that's been working for me personally is that I have this coffee shop that I love to go to. And at one point I was going to way too much. And so I've told myself, okay, the day that I get paid, which is every other Friday or something like that, then I'll allow myself to go there and get like any item that I want to there. So it saves money. And then I know, okay, I'm not going there all the time because it's probably not the best for me. So that's just my 2 cents right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, and about the whole time management thing, I'm literally just keeping the board in my workout room, and right when I finish my workout, writing a letter, and that's it. And then at the end of the week, I'll take a picture of it and post it in the ramp. So that'll be like my accountability, and you can see if I don't spell beast up, then it'll spell some other words. But
I'm looking forward for the food. The preparations of the food. Because I've seen pictures and Instagram photos of these, bodybuilders and all these other people eating certain kinds of foods. And I go to the grocery store where our local shopping center, otherwise Walmart or Food Lion or Piggly Wiggly, and I'm like, I don't have that kind of food. We don't sell that kind of food. So I'm looking at the choices that what y'all have so I can incorporate it in what I have, because mostly our foods come from out of the garden.
Yeah.
We grow everything. All mine's organic. I grow all our vegetables and stuff. We raise our own chickens. We have fresh eggs, so I don't have to, buy none of that. But I'm anxious to see what this meal prep is, because I've eaten collards, mustard, turnips, cabbage, corn, and peas, and all of this country food to us. Now I'm ready to wing away from the country food and the fatty oils and lard and grease. So I'm wanting some different kind of meal prep plans for me. So I'm anxious to see what this ramp. I'm excited. Actually, I'm excited because it's something totally different out of my ordinary. So I'm ready.
Awesome.
I think you'll love it, Jean. The meal prep obviously is what has made the biggest change for me. And it's simple, it's easy. I can prep on Sunday, I'm good for the week. And Michael, I love the idea of the calendar. It's easy and I'm a visual learner and I can do that. So looking forward to doing all of it.
Sweet.
Yep. Thank you, Miss Colleen.
Sweet.
You too, Jean.
So this call has gone longer than most of them.
Oh, God. Well, I could probably take it about another hour if you want to, because I can yap, but I choose not to. So.
No, this has been great. I just want to first of all just thank everybody who has spent the time to be here live, and then also everybody who's watching this as the replay. Just the fact that you're dedicating this time, it really shows what are the things that you care about. So, if you are a guest, we will connect one-on-one over the next couple of days and talk about what your next steps would be and what you'd like to do. And, if you are already in the ramp, just keep kicking it, keep rocking it. I'm so proud of every single one of you, and I have such a blast when we're in the ramp. So, and as I'm kind of wrapping up, I'm looking at the plan that I had to talk about it, and I had like 9 other things that I wanted to talk about. So that whole voice of, am I enough? Did I prepare enough? Needs to be shut down. So there's a whole other thing on the coaching side that I'd like to present as well. But I think this is a good time to wrap things up, and we'll make that into a part 2. Maybe I'll make that into a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Hey, how's that ramp? I guess you'll send all the links to it and things like that, or just
Yeah, so what we'll do is, you and I, we'll just talk one-on-one, and we'll figure out
Okay.
a good program that would be a good match for you, and then I'll help you connect with that program, and then include you in the ramp, and you'll get your ramp guide. It's a Facebook group message thread that's basically like a chat room. So we check in, and we just kind of hang out and share tips and all and things like that. So.
Cool beans.
But we can talk even more one-on-one.
Gracias.
All right, folks, we're going to sign out. Thank you again. Great to see your faces, and I look forward to seeing you next week at our next Monday Mojo.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, everybody.
It was real. Goodbye.